Ladies and gentlemen, what's happening in Los Angeles right now isn't just a tragedy, it's a crime against the American people. Fire hydrants running dry, neighborhoods reduced to ash, and where is the leadership? Well, nowhere to be found. Instead, we have Gavin Newsom calling for censorship of misinformation while citizens are forced to tackle arsonists themselves. The fire chief in tears admitted the city failed her department. Why? Because Mayor Karen Bass slashed $17 million from the fire budget while preaching about climate change. This isn't incompetent, folks. This is deliberate destruction of an American city. You know what's burning faster than California right now? The value of your dollars in this Biden economy. Well, Gavin Newsom watches Los Angeles burn without water in the hydrants. Your retirement savings are going up in smoke as well. But there's a solution. Our ancestors knew it very well. It's called gold. Every central bank in the world is stockpiling it, and maybe you should too. Call Global Gold Investments now at 888-700-4148 and get their 2025 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide absolutely free. Mention Next News for complimentary portfolio analysis. Don't let your savings burn. Call 888-700-4148 or visit the link in the description, IRAGoldproof.com. Okay, lots to unpack because California is burning. It is still smoldering. 2 hours ago, this is the current scene at San Vicente and Ocean Avenue in Santa Monica. Right now, National Guard has arrived. They've begun helping local law enforcement with traffic control and helping evaluate locals. The area is under an evacuation order 3. So the National Guard is now finally on scene. I mean, what the hell took so long? I mean, where is Gavin Newsom? You think with all those fires burning, he would have called him right away. But I guess he was too busy battling climate change. Here is the hard truth. Here's Kayleigh McEnany, the former White House press secretary, now on Fox. She says progressive leadership has failed during times of crisis. Always. Yeah, seems to be a
fire
trend.
hydrants. And at this point, how can you trust the government? I mean, we've learned the modus operandi of Democrats. And what is that? It's divert responsibility and point to shiny objects. And divert responsibility, Gavin Newsom was asked by Anderson Cooper 2 days ago, why are the fire hydrants running dry? He said, ask a local official. Could you imagine DeSantis doing that during a hurricane? No, he stepped in, fixed the Pine Island Bridge in 3 days. Gavin Newsom just points to local officials. Then he puts out a letter just moments ago, and the letter says, I'm demanding answers on the water. You're the leader of California. You are the chief executive. And then he goes on with Biden and talks about misinformation. This blew my mind because I remembered the Washington Post story that came out a week ago. Do you want to know Biden's biggest regret? Not Afghanistan, not inflation, not all of his failures. It's not combating misinformation. It's the same line they used after Hurricane Helene when he sat there with Kamala Harris after their failed response. And he said, misinformation, disinformation. That's the playbook. Say misinformation when the hard truth is this. You may have a playbook. The hard truth, progressive leadership fails during times of crisis. East Palestine, Hurricane Helene, this wildfire. And
unbelievable. But thankfully, that's all about to change. Nick Sortor just posting this. The Pacific Palisades Reservoir was empty and offline when the firestorm exploded, according to the LA Times. This is criminal, he says. The reservoir holds 117 million gallons of water and would have given firefighters ample pressure to effectively fight the blaze. Look at this. Here is a picture of the empty reservoir. I mean, what the hell were they thinking? And here, above here, look at this. This is drone footage. Drone footage of the devastation. It is so sad to witness this. California Governor Gavin Newsom calling for censorship of misinformation on the LA fires. He wants censorship because he's directly responsible. Here's more drone footage of the Pacific Palisades fire destruction. This is the result of Gavin Newsom, and he should resign. Look at this footage. It is devastating. I mean, it's like a bomb went off, like a nuclear bomb went off in California. It's disgusting. Here's the LA fire chief openly acknowledging that the city of Los Angeles failed both her and her department. She's about to break down in tears. Watch.
Justifiable. Did the city of Los Angeles fail you and your department and our city? It's my job to stand up as a chief and exactly say, justifiably, what the fire department needs to operate to meet the demands of the community.
Did they fail you?
That is our job, and I tell you, that's why I'm here. So let's get us what we need so our firefighters can do their jobs.
Did they fail you?
Yes.
Oh.
Did the city of Los Angeles fail you and your department?
Did the city of Los Angeles fail you? You know where this is going, right, folks? Now the finger pointing begins. So you have the fire chief, who is a champion of DEI, right? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. She's now pointing fingers at the city of Los Angeles. Oh, where's the city of Los Angeles? Who's the top of the city of Los Angeles? The mayor. Oh, and Gavin Newsom's pointing fingers. Everyone's starting to point fingers. The blame game begins. Nobody wants to take responsibility. Where does the buck stop? We took a poll on the YouTube channel, and we asked everybody, what do you think? Who's responsible? Is it Newsom? Is it Biden? Is it the chief? Is it the mayor? And overwhelmingly, everybody said it was Newsom's fault. But the comments, well, you can read the comments. Everyone's like, all of the above. There's no option for all the above. So they should all resign in shame. This is Gavin Newsom's post of 4 hours ago. I'm calling for an independent investigation into the loss of water pressure to local fire hydrants and the reported unavailability of water supplies. We need answers to ensure this does not happen again. And we have every resource available. Dude, just do not pass go. Just report directly to prison. Gavin Newsom. I'm calling for an investigation. What are you going to investigate? Come on. You're just as much to blame, dude. Don't even try. Oh, and then I got this. Now, a friend of mine who lives out in California, he's been texting me. He's like, hey, I'm going to go check out this homeless encampment. Gary, he's like, you need to see this. They're not homeless people there. These are all migrants. So he went in and he got these, look at these pictures. They got like, look at that golf cart. Look at this golf cart. Look at this golf cart. This is like some pro stuff that they are transporting these migrants around in. They're not homeless people. Okay? Now what he tells me is that this is all paid for by Gavin Newsom. So as the fires are raging right now in Los Angeles, 300,000 Californians are left homeless. Gavin Newsom is funneling taxpayer money into massive tent cities, not for the homeless, but for migrants. This is the shocking footage from Balboa Park. Shows organized operations with electric carts shuttling migrants in and out. But look at the size of these camps. I mean, this is an enormous. Look at 2 tiers. 2 tiers of tents. No, those are not for Californians. No, those aren't for people displaced from these fires. These are from people who cross the border illegally. And here's something interesting. See, this fire is starting to wake up the left to no end. They are starting to recognize the destruction of the destructive manners that DEI poses. I got some video from Adam Corolla. He's been going viral. We're going to show you that in a little bit. But here is Whitney Cummings. All right. Now, I'm not big in the entertainment industry. I don't know like who all these people are, whatever. I think she's a comedian or something. But Eric Matheny says even those in the entertainment industry are starting to get it. Listen to this. This is scorching.
All right, like everyone, I'm trying to figure out how this happened in California so that I don't say something that's inaccurate. I came across a video of the fire chief, a lesbian. Love it, great. Fan of lesbians, try to be one, didn't take. I don't think I'm a lesbian, I live in Los Angeles and the men are so effeminate that honestly at this point, dating a woman is like the straightest thing you can do. So anyway, talking about recruiting more lesbians into the LAFD to be firefighters. I think lesbians can be firefighters. Dope, fine. I'm not thinking about your genitals or your preferences when I need a hero, right? But is that not like, why is it okay? That'd be like a gay man being like, we need more gay men in here. That'd be like me going, we need more hot guys in here to be firefighters. That would be like a dude being like, we just need more hot blondes. That's what we need. And I will not stop until there are more people that I'm attracted to or that are in my dating pool. Like, isn't that essentially just recruiting people in your dating pool to work at your office? Wait, all the people in charge of LA's fire response are lesbians named Kristen? I do not recall voting on a prop that said we could recruit our fire team off Grindr. What? All right, like everyone, I'm trying to figure out how this happening.
They are starting to wake up, finally, to the destructive policies. Here is the chief, Kristen Crowley, chief of the LA Fire Department. She gave an emotional interview, Fox Live, admitting the city of Los Angeles failed her department. And here's a stunning moment. Colin Rugg posted this about 11 hours ago. You may have seen it. But this is the moment that the citizen's arrest occurred, and they'd used a leg takedown technique. Apparently, this guy was riding around on a bicycle with some kind of a torch, and he was setting fires. They used, allegedly setting fires. One witness said the man used zip ties and rope to detain the arsonist suspect. Yeah, so he started the West Hill fires because that was a parking lot thing to come over here and light up the area. So I got another note from my friend in California. He said that most of these fires are starting at trailheads. And that would indicate all of these fires are related to arson. Is it a coordinated effort? I don't know. Is someone saying, hey, go to all the trailheads and start fires? Take advantage of this windstorm? I don't know. But I got some interesting information related to that. Okay, so more on the guy who was apprehended. Homeless man with a blowtorch in L.A. tackled and zip-tied by furious locals as cops confirm latest wildfire is arson. Locals claim the man was riding a bicycle around the Woodland Hills neighborhood on Thursday, carrying a large propane tank and a flamethrower. And, of course, you have Gavin Newsom out there doing his photo ops. Yeah, I'm out here watching everything burn. Michael Schellenberger, instead of addressing the fire catastrophe destroying Los Angeles, top Democrat lawmakers in California, you ready for this? Have been meeting to discuss how to sue the Trump administration. That's their top priority right now. Ashley Zavala, new. California lawmakers in the assembly have gavelled into a special legislative session to help the state prepare for legal battles with the upcoming Trump administration. Now here, okay, related to the coordinated effort, who knows if this is a coordinated attack or a coordinated campaign to burn down all these cities. But Carol Mack posted this 2 days ago, and it got on my radar just late last night. And I didn't know this. She says there's an initiative on the books called Smart LA 2028. Its goal is to transform Los Angeles into a highly digitally connected city by 2028. And also coinciding with the 2028 Olympics. Did you know that? It was done to coincide with that. There is a site of major sporting events to be held where the upgrades and changes need to occur. Pacific Palisades. One of the initiative goals to mitigate urban challenges, expand fiber optics, integrate various smart technologies. So, I'm not saying that is what is going on here, but, you got to ask the questions. Are they trying to wipe out entire cities so they can make way for their new digital 15-minute city? Is that what's happening here? To please everyone in the Olympics committee? Adam Corolla went on with Megyn Kelly. He says those affected by the LA wildfires, you asked for it by voting Democrat. Buckle up.
This is Gavin Newsom, got recalled essentially, and he still won. We had a choice between Rick Caruso, a sort of qualified, able-bodied businessman for mayor. We ended up with Karen Bass. Like, we sort of get what we deserve. And I do want to say to all the people in Malibu, very blue, Palisades, very blue, Santa Monica, very blue. You guys like all this. This is who you voted for these people. You're sitting around right now going, how come the fire hydrants don't work? Where's the mayor? Why is she out of the country? What's going on with the aqueducts? You voted for these people. This is who you voted for. You live in Santa Monica. You live in these places. This is how you roll. This is what you agree with. You think it's more important to have a woman of color versus a qualified person. You think it's more important to have a lesbian running the fire department than a qualified person. Well, you asked for it. You got it. Now your house is on fire. Gavin Newsom.
But there's another clip we played the other night at the end of our raw feed. Adam Corolla goes absolutely ballistic. Maybe we'll play that in a moment. We got some more to get to here. Here's some more visuals of the man with the propane and the flamethrower. We've got this. Okay, this was posted as well. I showed this to Angie. We were talking about these wildfires and, the mismanagement of the forest. Check this out. This guy here, I don't know what his name is. Wrangler, excuse me.
Beloved, do you want to know why the West is on fire?
Wrangler Stairview. Listen to this. Listen to this short clip. Watch what he shows us. This is the mismanagement of the forest that caused all this stuff.
Beloved, do you want to know why the West is on fire and why these forest fires are out of control?
Watch this.
Let me show you. This is our national forest. This
tinderbox
is how they manage it. What do you think is going to happen to these trees, to this forest, if a fire starts in here? Could you walk through there? If you wanted to create an environment for fire to thrive, you couldn't do better. We've got all the money in the world to send bombs to go over and kill people that have never done anything to us. But here back at home, we can't lift a finger. But you bet we're paying them. You bet we're paying them. Beloved,
how crazy is that, right? That's the reality. That is California. Donald Trump's been warning about it. He confronted Gavin Newsom directly to his face. I think I got that clip here. Let's see if we can find it. I know I've got it. Give me 1 second. Actually, let's play. Okay, here's President Biden. He's announcing the federal government will be covering 100% of the costs for 180 days.
Legislation. And this morning, due to the magnitude of the disaster, I was talking with the governor, and he requested if I could increase the federal funding that was authorized under this legislation from 75% to 90%. We're increasing it to 100% of all the costs to be covered by the federal government for both the fire management systems grants and the elements of what they call the disaster declaration. So today I'm announcing that the federal government will cover 100% of the cost for 180 days. This is going to pay for things like debris and hazard material removal, temporary shelters, first responders' salaries, and all necessary measures to protect life and property. And folks, I want to underscore, I told the governor and local officials, spare no expense to do what they need to do and contain these fires and in their communities that have really been devastated.
Yeah. What about the people of North Carolina, huh? Check this out. Okay, just the other day, it was yesterday, they had a press conference, and this reporter asked the mayor a question. And, you could see it in his face. I watched the press conference live, and we didn't see this reporter's face, but this showed up. It's a split video. And what it shows, I mean, the look on his face when she deflects and refuses to answer his simple question. Insurrection Barbie says, She should resign. This is unbelievable.
My crew and I arrived shortly after it started, and for several hours we watched as hundreds of homes in a neighborhood burned to the ground. We did not see a single fire engine. We watched as Good Samaritans guided traffic. There was fear and there was a lot of confusion. You were out of the country at the time. Shortly after the fire started, a press release was put out warning of this fire behavior. My question to you is, what explains this lack of preparation and rapid response?
Let me just say, first and foremost, my number one focus, and I think the focus of all of us here with one voice, is that we have to protect lives, we have to save lives, and we have to save homes. Rest assured that, rest assured, let me finish. Rest assured, when that is done, when we are safe, when lives have been saved and homes have been saved, we will absolutely do an evaluation to look at what worked, what didn't work, and to correct or to hold accountable any body, department, individual, etc. But my focus right now is on the lives and on the homes.
Do you think your leadership was effective while responding to this disaster?
I just said what I believe is the most important thing for us to do.
My crew and I arrived shortly after it started.
Disgraceful. Here's the clip of them announcing the local citizens were the ones who detained the alleged arsonists. Local news.
What we know right now is that the incident started here, and about 30 minutes later, a suspect was detained over in Woodland Hills area by citizens.
So someone purposely set the Kenneth fire?
At this time, that's what we believe, yes.
Do you know how or why they did that?
That I don't know.
Is this a crime scene right now?
Yes.
So everything's closed off?
It's being investigated as a crime.
Being investigated as a crime scene. Now, this was also posted a couple days ago. Mariano Fall. This is Los Angeles, where people set fires during the worst fire tragedy in the history of the state in order to loot. People are lighting fires in otherwise non-burning urban areas of LA. They saw this happen firsthand at 302 Pico in Santa
Civilians
Monica.
are now lighting. We're at 302 Pico, and people are lighting fires now. You can see they lit a fire. These guys, not all the people there, but some of those guys lit that fire, and these guys they're actually the trees caught fire, and then the palms are catching fire. So civilians are now lighting fires down in the so-called flats around Santa Monica, Venice. So be safe out there. Fire department's been dispatched. We don't have enough water to put this thing out, but we're supposedly on the way.
Now, that fire was put out, and thankfully it was. Here is, okay, so check this out, right? Robbie Starbuck makes a point to note that who in North Carolina is going to step up for these families? Every single elected official should be working around the clock to force FEMA and state emergency management to extend hotel vouchers. Okay, so you got 300,000 people displaced in California. You got Gavin Newsom, who is putting migrants in tent cities. And over in North Carolina, Western North Carolina, you got people about to get evicted from hotels because they're still reeling from that disaster. Where's FEMA? Where's FEMA in California? Where's the money? Oh, that's right. I forgot. They spent it all on migrant camps. Oh, and helping all the migrants go all across the United States. Yeah, that's your federal government. So when real crisis strikes, people like this are screwed.
Still eligible. I'm still waiting on an inspection through FEMA. And I called them yesterday, matter of fact, and she said that, yes, you have an inspection due. Don't know when they're going to contact you. But however, your hotel voucher ends on Friday. You have to be out by Saturday.
Mary Jo Tucker was displaced by the storm. She says that she's been waiting for the inspection from FEMA for quite some time now.
And I don't know when they're going to get this inspection done. And I'm just one of very many people in this hotel that is going to be homeless, and I can't imagine being homeless, especially right now with this storm coming in.
Battling with the cold as she describes her struggles to find safe accommodations.
I can't imagine what's going to happen in 2 days, not being able to sleep in a bed or be warm at night,
News 13 reached out to FEMA. The agency would not comment on specific cases, but says if a household has pending inspection, they are still eligible for transitional sheltering assistance. FEMA says that it's taken the agency between 4 to 5 days to fulfill an inspection request. They say anyone with questions should contact the FEMA helpline or visit a disaster recovery center.
I'm still waiting on.
Yeah, sure. Visit a disaster recovery center. Absolutely disgraceful. Here's some footage that's totally gone viral. But Pramila Jayapal, she posted the video. She says corporations got us into this mess, but even they can't escape the devastating reality of climate change. Yeah, in her mind, this is the visualization of climate change. Yeah, this is all climate. No, it's not. It's not climate change, honey. Good God, these people are out of their minds. Gunter Eagleman responding to her, "You are officially the dumbest member of Congress after this post. Congrats, dipshit." Yeah. I got this shot. Where's this video? I've got that one. Okay, so this was Roger Stone. If you remember, when Donald Trump, he was recently in D.C., and he was speaking to reporters, getting his reaction to what's happening in Los Angeles, and he blasted Gavin Newsom for his efforts to save this fish. This is the fish, the smelt, that they're so concerned about. And Roger Stone made it a point to let us know this is the fish Gavin Newsom burned California down in order to save. Yeah, there it is, folks. There it is. Oh, and then we have this bizarre moment that happened as well.
Madam Vice President, I know you're directly affected, so you fire away. No pun intended.
All right, as the president.
No pun intended. Fire away. Biden passes to Kamala. Fire away. No pun intended. Massive emergency alerts were going out. Cell phones across LA receiving emergency alerts for evacuation warnings related to the Kenneth fire in Calabasas, West Hills. And you can see some of these. If you got one, I hope that you listened to it. But these are the fire warnings that were sent out just 24 hours ago. Donald Trump making this post on Truth Social. One of the best and most beautiful parts of the United States of America is burning down to the ground. It's ashes, and Gavin Newsom should resign, and this is all his fault. The West Hills, this is the West Hills fire. But before we get to that, here, let's take a look at LA Mayor Karen Bass. She campaigned on increasing funding for the fire department, and she cut it, though, by $17 million to deal with what? Climate change fires.
Dealing with the fire. We have wonderful goals in Los Angeles and climate change. We're all experiencing the heat. We have fires. We need to increase the fire department. That's another issue in terms of public safety, but also the environment, because one of the reasons why we are dealing with the fires is because of climate change. So
yeah, it's all climate change. It could never be those policies, right? Oh, Not to Be posted this. This video went viral. The scariest part of this woke nonsense is when this firefighter admits she's not strong enough to carry a man out of a fire, but it's really the man's fault for being in the situation to begin with. Okay? God, I can't even believe the mindset of some of these people. You ready for it? Let's go. There it is.
Your emergency. You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire. You want to see somebody that responds to your house.
He got himself in this situation. It's his fault. It's the man's fault that there's a fire happening. And now I got to carry him out. I mean, it's just disgraceful all around. Oh, boy. Here's Donald Trump calling out the mayor, Karen Bass. Fire is spreading rapidly for 3 days. Zero containment. Nobody has ever seen such failed numbers before. Gross incompetence by Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. And Biden's FEMA has no money. All wasted on the Green News scam. LA is a total wipeout. And we got this. This it dovetails to the stuff happening in Western North Carolina. Biden announced funding for California for the next 180 days and says, I believe 75% as per the law and in place for fire damage after the 180 days. Meanwhile, Western North Carolina, FEMA is evicting those impacted by the hurricanes from hotels in frigid weather. Here's Matt Van Swal. He says he can't even put into words how horrific what's happening to people in Western North Carolina. We can't forget about what happened there. We can't. I mean, that Western North Carolina looks as bad as California. And it's the same incompetence in the recovery efforts.
Text I got. I hate making these videos, but what is happening in Western North Carolina today can only be described as mass panic. We have got 3,500 families that are about to get kicked out of hotels tomorrow morning, literally in the worst of the winter storms that we've gotten all year. It's going to be 14 degrees outside. I saw a line for propane a mile long at beloved Asheville yesterday. People just picking up as much propane as they could put in their cars with buddy heaters or portable heaters. I've got negative 20 degrees sleeping bags and 4 propane tanks in the back of my car that I'm going to deliver to someone who said that they will run out of propane by the end of tonight. The text I got, literally word for word, is I'm running my heat 24/7 and I can barely keep it at 55 to 60 degrees in my trailer. And propane is such an expensive way to heat something like an RV. These people do not have the money to pay for all of this propane. So please, FEMA, you have got to extend these hotel vouchers at least past this winter storm. We literally cannot have 3,000 families without a place to go in the dead of winter. Like that absolutely cannot happen. You have got to extend them. You just got $100 billion in taxpayer money. You cannot extend hotels for 3,500. Like, you can't do that. Why are we giving you all of this money if you can't do the very bare minimum of just pushing people a little bit past this freaking winter storm? You guys can do it. Do better.
Yeah, do better. Yeah. Don't ask them for anything. They are worthless. Here is some video from a day ago. Fire in West Hills, Los Angeles is expected to merge with the one in the Palisades, creating an even larger wildfire. freedomnews.tv. Oh, and here's this video. You may have seen this. This is, I think, probably one of the most disgraceful moments for Gavin Newsom. And it should be played on repeat. He's confronted by somebody in Los Angeles, and he goes on to say, "Oh, I'm trying to talk to Joe Biden right now. I'm trying to talk to Joe. I can't talk to you."
Really?
Governor, you got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And it's to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
to
everything
fill the
I
hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I understand.
But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not. I see the. Do you know there's water dripping over there, Governor? There's water coming out there. You can use it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to make the call to address everything I can right now, including making sure people
I'd
are
like
safe.
to make sure you do. Can I have an opportunity to at least tell people you're doing what you're saying you're doing? Could somebody have a contact? Can I have your contact information?
Right there.
Governor, you got a second?
Yeah. Take my card. He gets into his SUV and runs away. Okay, here's the video I wanted to show you. This is from Patrick Bet-David. I love this guy. Trump blasting Newsom. America's beauty reduced to ashes. It's all Newsom's fault. Even Hollywood's Zach Levy is calling out the chaos. Trump warned us in 2018, clean the forest like Finland, but the elites ignored him. This is all on them.
Trump just tweeted out, I think 10 hours ago on Truth Social, asking him to step down. One of the best and most beautiful parts of the United States and America is burning down to the ground. It's ashes, and Gavin Newsom should resign. This is all his fault. Resign. By the way, then you have Zach Levi, the actor from Shazam, who was the actor playing Kurt Warner. He's been in a lot of different movies. Phenomenal actor. He goes out there and he says, do we not do an investigation on this? Sure. Don't we find out and see what's going on with this here? I mean, some people have responsibilities on what's going on here. What happened here? How do you get here? Then there's a clip of Trump from 2018 standing right next to Newsom telling him of how this in Denmark, they're able to prevent this from happening. Rob, if you can play this clip, go for it.
It's cleaned out and protected. You've got to take care of the floors, the floors of the forests, very important. You look at other countries where they do it differently, and it's a whole different story. I was with the president of Finland, and he said, we have a much different, we're a forest nation. He called it a forest nation. And they spend a lot of time on raking and cleaning and doing things, and they don't have any problem. And when it is, it's a very small problem. So I know everybody's looking at that, to that end, and it's going to work out.
Trump just tweeted out, I think.
So Donald Trump's been warning about this since 2018. And you saw him in that video. He was standing in the ashes of another fire back then. Gavin Newsom hasn't done squat to protect these people. But, thankfully, at least we have a diverse fire department. I mean, I think that is really just important. Battling climate change. I'm so happy that we figured it out, the source of this whole thing. Lack of diversity and climate change. These are things we need to address, especially saving this fish. I'm going to get to this Adam Corolla bit. There's a lot of cursing in this, so I just want you to be aware before we play it. But there was this. DC Drano posted this. LA fire hydrants don't have running water. There aren't enough firemen because Dems fired over 100 for not taking the mandate. 1,000 plus homes burned, entire neighborhoods wiped out. LA media, LGBT fire chief is proving that lesbians get it done. This is the headline. Amid the Palisades fire, Los Angeles' first LGBTQ plus fire chief is proving lesbians get it done. Well, apparently they don't, because she's blaming the mayor of Los Angeles. Holy cow. Yeah. Okay. You guys want to see this Adam Corolla bit? It is fire. It is absolute fire. And to summarize what he's about to say, this is a 5-minute clip, but what he summarizes here is that this fire is going to turn this whole blue area red. Because people are going to see the destruction of their progressive DEI ways and their overburdening environmental regulations. And all these rich people who want to rebuild their homes, they're going to have a hell of a time because of all the bureaucracy they're going to have to go through. And it's going to change a lot of people's minds because now they're finally going to have to deal with the policies that they voted for. Watch this. This is okay. Now I'm warning again. There's some cursing in here. And but it's absolute fire. This got 20 million views, by the way.
Because remember, the guys who lost their $20 million homes on the ocean side of PCH will be knee deep in the permit process. They will be trying to pull permits when the guys in the Winnebagos will have been back for months before those guys ever get a permit. As a matter of fact, good fucking luck. Because here's the deal. Alan Hamill and Suzanne Summers moved because they could not get a permit to rebuild their home of 40 years on the ocean on PCH, right? So here's what's going to happen. Let me just give you guys a little primer of what's going to happen. You know how Bill Maher seems real conservative now when he's like arguing with Jane Fonda about regulations, too many regulations, like strangling everything? Because remember, when Bill Maher tried to put solar in his house in Beverly Hills, that's when he turned against the government, because he saw what the government and the overreach of government and overregulation does. He got strangled. It took him 3 years to build a solar shack. He had a whole countdown on his show, day 1,000 since I've got my permit for my solar. He turned. Okay. The people who live in Malibu, who live in Santa Monica, who live in the Palisades, those are some of the most progressive blue voters in the world, or in the United States. They are a bastion of blue. So what those guys did is, all the people in the Palisades, I checked it out. It's about 80% blue, 80% progressive, 80% Democrat. Now, these pussies are all sitting around crying about Karen Bass, water pressure, how come the forest wasn't cleared of all the brush, what's happening with the infrastructure. You guys all voted for Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles. You all voted for Gavin Newsom. And now you fucking get what you get. Oh, now that your house is on fire, well, now you're thinking about something else. Now you want to know what's going on. What's going on around here? You didn't give a shit about what was going on when other people's houses were on fire, but now you care. So here's what's going to happen. All these people who were deep blue Democrats are now going to have to pull a permit to rebuild. And they're going to get the 28-year-old bitch from the Coastal Commission telling them to go fuck off. And then they're going to vote for Trump or whoever's Trumpian next. You see, they're going to get turned. They're going to get turned hard because, as I've always said, live in the rent control apartment in Santa Monica, fine, good. We know how you vote. Go deal with the city. Try to pull a permit. These are going to be thousands of homes, super wealthy people, and these people don't want to live in Van Nuys. They like it where they are. They love Malibu. They love the Palisades. They love Santa Monica. There's going to be a whole bunch of rich people, and they're going to go, I'm rebuilding, and I want to rebuild as fast as I can. And between the part where they go in to the planning commission and plan check and initially and try to pull a permit to the time the first load of lumber, the first load of 2x4s is dropped off on their lot where their house formerly stood, it's going to be 3 years. And 1,000 permits and 1,000 arguments and 1,000 discussions with the Coastal Commission, not to mention little tidbits that they didn't think about, like Carson Daly. You want a swimming pool? Yep. Got to be double hulled. Really? Yeah. Well, why? Well, what if water leaches out and gets into the groundwater table? Carson Daly had to build a swimming pool like a modern day oil tanker. Had to be like a double hulled. That's all right. It'll just cost $500,000 for a swimming pool. Like that, they're going to be, when they start getting the regulation, they're going to go nuts. And when they start running into the bureaucracy and the red tape, they're going to start going nuts, and they're going to vote for Rick Caruso next time because they want to get. That's all Trump says is we're going to pull back the regulations. We're going to free people up. They're going to find out. They're going to get bit by their own snake. They're going to convert. I am telling you, these are the bluest people on the planet, and they're going to be fucking ripshit pissed when the city and the Coastal Commission tell them to fuck off. And by the way, I don't think the Coastal Commission is going to okay anyone rebuilding any of their houses on the coast because they say they're in the business of protecting the coast. They're in the business of getting you to leave. They will get their wish, which is no buildings. And they're going to make it hard for everyone. And then we're going to have to restructure the whole thing because we can't have 9 angry lesbians controlling everything that goes on in Malibu, the Palisades, and Santa Monica.
Oh, yeah. I think he lays it out quite clearly. And this goes back to what I brought up earlier about this Agenda 2028 thing, where they have this plan to make this modern digital city just in time for the Olympics. And this is the woman who's in charge of the Water Commission there. And Ann Vandersteel says Janice Quinones is the new head of the LA Department of Water and Power. She was recommended to the position by Mayor Karen Bass back in 2024. She makes $750,000 a year, nearly twice as much as her male predecessor. And almost 1 year later, LA is out of water for fighting trees. People are dying. People are losing everything. 52 to 57 billion in property damage. And why? Because the Democrats are down with the patriarchy party. That's why. Well, guess what, Dems? The patriarchy kept the water towers full. The patriarchy kept the water flowing. Has it ever been more clear? DEI equals die. Yeah. So here's more. Oh, Grant Cardone. Did you know this? Grant Cardone is filing a class action lawsuit against Newsom in LA County. Check this out.
And they cut the budget. Elon Musk is attempting to go to Mars, and we can't get pressure and water to a hydrant. We have plentiful water. We're on the Pacific. There's endless amounts of water right there available. And they cut the budgets on the fire department. This is not a new problem, by the way. They're going to try to make this out to be a climate warming agenda.
Yeah.
For 35 years, you have Santa Ana winds, low humidity, and fires in California, hundreds of them. This was just mismanagement, a lack of priorities. Newsom should resign himself, or the California people should evict him from office immediately. Elon Musk is
immediately. Yeah, and what about all that water in the ocean right there as these fires burn? Like they couldn't figure out a way to get that water pumped out. Well, when you have incompetence running the city, nothing gets done. This is the letter that the fire chief, Kristen Crowley, warned Mayor Karen Bass last month that the $17 million she cut from the department's budget severely limited the department's capacity to prepare for, train for, and respond to large-scale emergencies, including wildfires. Here's the letter. But of course, the fire chief, she spent her money on training for DEI initiatives. Yeah. And now she's trying to blame the mayor. This whole thing is a mess. And then we have this curious video that was posted. I meme, therefore I am, posted this video, says, watch as young punks throw gas containers to fuel the fire. Now, it's unclear if they're attempting to fuel the fire. Now, there was earlier there was a community notes on this post that said that maybe they weren't properly carrying the fuel in their vehicle as they were escaping. And it's very dangerous to carry gasoline inside an enclosed vehicle because of the fumes could ignite. So some people were surmising that they were removing the gas like that. But I don't know why you would remove fuel and throw it onto the side of the road. Like that just seems completely irresponsible. If you are not properly transporting gasoline in a vehicle, I mean, they're in an SUV, it looks like. You know, you'd think they could maybe put it on top or somehow figure a way to put it on top of the vehicle so that they don't have to worry about fumes. But that is a video that was just going viral as well. And we have Ron DeSantis blasting a reporter. Watch this.
To try to create
appropriate for the president-elect or a president to be criticizing.
Is it appropriate for people in your industry to try to create division and to try to create narratives anytime these things happen? Now, you're not as interested in doing that because Newsom is a D. If Newsom was a Republican, you guys would go you would have him nailed to the wall for what they're doing over there. And I know we've dealt with it. We just assume in Florida, anytime something happens, it's going to be politicized by the media. So you guys sitting in judgment of Donald Trump, I mean, excuse me, I think your track record of politicizing these things is very, very bad.
Okay, last question. Newsom should resign and that the wildfires are all his fault. So do you agree with those comments?
I remember when we had the Surfside Tower collapse, I had people from the Washington Post trying to blame me for it immediately without having any facts or anything. Oh, he didn't declare a state of emergency. First of all, state of emergency doesn't mean you can't
Biden
respond.
Didn't,
it's all that. Excuse me?
Biden didn't. I think that's what you said.
Well, but what I'm telling you is you guys are trying to make an issue of it when I have watched from this seat. In fact, when I got elected governor, I was meeting with some of the other Republican governors, and what they would say is, hey, if you have a natural disaster, just know media's coming at you, they're going to do it. It's not the same. That mayor of LA, if that were a Republican mayor, I could only imagine what that would do. I mean, you know the fires are at high risk and you try to go to Africa or wherever she was to go on some type of voyage. You should have been there preparing and doing that, and yet I don't see a lot of heat being directed in that thing. And so, you know, I'd like to see some balance on how this is done. You could criticize the president-elect, but I think you also have to hold these other people accountable, and I have not seen that.
Yeah, that's the media for you, though. That's what they do. They deflect. They run cover for the left. If that was a Republican, yeah. How long did it take for Biden to go visit North Carolina? Weeks. Goes to show he doesn't care about regular hardworking taxpayers. The elite look out for the elite. Disgraceful all around. I don't even know how much more I can go. This is just, the whole thing is a mess. But we have hope because Donald Trump will be returning and all this will finally be resolved. Gavin Newsom should resign. The mayor should resign. The chief of the fire department should resign. They should all resign. So the images that are coming out of Los Angeles, they tell a story of a complete system failure. Citizens zip-tying arsonists because the police can't respond. Fire hydrants running dry while Newsom funds tent cities for migrants. A fire chief admitting on live television that her department was set up to fail. But here's what they don't want you to think about. This isn't just happening in California. This is coming to your state next if we don't stop it. The same policies, the same leadership, the same destruction. It's all part of their plan. So here's my question to you patriots. If they can't even keep water in the fire hydrants, how can they be trusted with running our country? Let us know in the comments below. Get your exclusive Mag Avengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Show the world that you stand for truth.